You're watching this week's show with Dan and Mike.
This week's show.
Welcome back.
So, we are in the week of download now.
I know.
Yes, I cannot wait.
I am trying to keep my composure because I get to see Green Day in a few days' time.
And that is such a massive bucket list for you.
I know. In all these years of going to festivals since I was about 13.
And not just download, you've done a cross-section of festivals.
Every festival in the UK and still not seen Green Day.
And to be fair,
it's bizarre.
I think you're still in for a good treat because I'm pretty confident that Billy Joel's been sipping the same Kool-Aid as Paul Rudd because he just doesn't age.
No.
So
the only way you can tell that time has passed is that the roots in his dyed hair show.
Just a little bit. I'm genuinely excited as well for you because I'm not the biggest Korn fan in the world, but I can't wait to see what they do with the headline set at Download.
They've been playing across the States and in Europe at the moment, and I've purposely not watched any of the live stuff because I know it'll be the same set because obviously it's all done to screens and lighting triggers and all that kind of jazz, so you can't mess the set or mix the set up every festival.
Not quite, no, not with that much production going into
No.
it. One thing I can tell you that's not a spoiler is that a lot of the performances people are coming away saying that is the best Korn performance
That's what,
ever.
yeah, I've seen the write-up bits under the videos, but I haven't watched the videos.
Yeah,
As long as that, all the comments I've seen so far is they're on fire. And I saw a countless amount of comments about Sleep Token headlining in the dark and outdoors, and it rained and all this kind of stuff for them at Rock Am Ring or Rock Am Park.
The stuff coming out of Rock Am Ring, quite a few bands that I follow all the individual members friends with and stuff like that, they're saying that it was something else. So if they're bringing,
and it was wet.
Yeah, and if they're bringing that energy across the Download, then we're lucky to have the show afterwards. But I also know from when Jonathan Davies couldn't attend Download, but the band at his wish has still performed with other vocalists. We talked about it before.
Yes, we have.
I know from everything he said at that time how much Download actually means to the members of Korn as well.
Yeah.
And to, at this point in your career, still be able to fight your way up to headlining it, that doesn't happen often. You either get there early, or maybe you get there and kind of stay there like Slipknot.
Well, they are, to be fair now, a legacy band because they've been around 30 plus years. So.
But we've done a recent Download only within the last 5 years or so where they are main support still, wasn't that? Yeah. So it means that Korn is still relevant, which I know that you know, but it's going to be nice for a whole generation of new fans that may not have seen Korn on their support slots. They're off seeing somebody on the second stage or something like that. They're going to understand why Korn was so instrumental to a lot of people's music tastes, and I know from a couple albums back as well how much of a mental health journey they went on to try and get off the pharmaceuticals, and they did it via music.
All sorts. So I heard an interview with Jonathan Davis once, and this ties in with the one time I actually met him when they were touring in the UK when the album with Skrillex came out. Yeah. And Jonathan Davis was the warm-up DJ as JD.
Wow.
And I was stood where we normally stand in Bristol, just chilling, waiting to go and interview on the tour bus. And he just pops out the side and has a cigarette. And I was like, do you want to smoke? I was like, yeah, sure. So I don't actually smoke cigarettes. So I made it look like I was, had a brief conversation. I can't remember what, I was starstruck and I had to go try and retain the information for the interview I was about to do with Fieldy.
On a nicotine high as well.
Yeah. So, without coughing my guts up and trying to look cool and suave in front of this guy that I've idolised for a while. But then I heard this podcast a few years after that, and he said that he can tell when he's suffering from depression because he turns to cigarettes.
Interesting.
So I was like, oh no. If I'd known that a few years earlier, I could have tried to be a bit more, less starstruck, a bit more conversational instead of just being a bit fanboyish and I really can't remember what I said. But so I was smoking a cigarette with Jonathan Davis. It's that's because he was having a bad period in his life and had to be on the road, so he turned to cigarettes. It's like
I've never interviewed him, but opposite way around, where my mental health was in the floor, that Reading of 2018, where I was in a very, very bad place. But Jacoby Shaddix was just hanging around outside and had something like a 10-minute conversation with me over whether you should buy expensive sunglasses or dollar sunglasses. And he really liked mine, and I was like, buddy, they're like two quid or like $1 off of Amazon. And he went, I'm gonna have to do what you do. He's like, buy loads of cheap ones so that if I lose them, I don't care about it.
Yeah.
And that's why we got a selfie with both of us actually still wearing the sunglasses, because he's like, well, we got to do it with the sunglasses on now. He's like, so that you keep the memory. I'm like, how can you be at this point in your career and still remember how important it is to everybody? Because, you know...
I got a photo with him.
Yeah.
The photo, one photo, I didn't take like 3 or 4 to, like you should do when you're taking a selfie. It's just one, and he's got his eyes closed. But I've still got it up in my living room. It's like with all the rest of the people I've met. It's like,
but he also kind of looks like he's just doing a happy, relaxed face rather than anything else. But yeah, you got to try and get enough so that if they blink. Something which we said that we would say on this show as well. I have a bit of a habit of screwing up from time to time, just from being a bit ADHD forgetful. And last year, I think, was one of my most monumental ones. I mean, I remember before the pandemic, at one point, I turned up to a cold and windy download without a code.
Yeah, that was clever of you, wasn't it?
And we were intense at that point as well. So I was cold for the entire weekend. That was amazing.
But last year's...
I surpassed myself.
Yeah, I don't think anyone else could eat that either.
No, so...
Because most people have a checklist of things to pack.
And I have a checklist. I don't know how I did this, but I turn up to press on Friday and I don't have my power cable for my laptop.
The laptop that you use to edit everything and
do
get everything
all of
online.
the post-production, yes.
Yeah.
Clear our memory cards with, and Total Rocks, I haven't forgotten that. And this was partly when we realised how lucky we were to have the manager that we have. Because I just text in a frustrated, like, I can't believe I've done this. And all I got back was, give me 5 hours. And I was like, what? Yes, give me 5 hours, I need to finish work, and I'm going to drive it to you, which is a 3.5 hour drive if you don't brake, but more like a 4.5 hour drive with brakes. And the most gutting but still kind of funny part of it was you got to site, which is our manager, and then immediately got screamed at by like 6 security guards that you weren't allowed to pull up where our car park was. So it was hand the power cable out the window. I had a pre-poured and made cup of coffee, so I knew that she's going to need it for the drive home. And I put that into the car, and that was literally the only thing that we said to each other was, here, have this, I'm really sorry, you're going to have to run away again.
Make sure that we take everything this year, because the boss is coming with us.
She's got like 10 lists already, and most of them are to check what I'm doing. But,
to be fair, I'm pretty much packed.
Yeah, and that doesn't surprise me. I'm packing as always the day before.
I'll finalise, and at the moment I've got piles and
nothing ever makes it to a suitcase until the day before, or sometimes the day of.
I even gave my tent a proper wash, not just a wipe down. It's going to smell all nice and not dank from last year. And
I mean, it helps that we have garden, or you have a garden to actually put it up in these days.
Yes.
When we had to do it in the nearby park, that was always quite interesting. You remember that time that somebody tried to get in the tent when you were just sat waiting for it to dry out, and then somebody literally tried to get in your tent with you.
I'm here.
And like, dude, I'm just drying a tent out. Why? Of course, I think, shall we say, it had a libation or two before trying to get in the tent with you.
Okay.
But yeah, that is, so we're going to hit you up on the highlight show as to what mistake I made this year. Because ADHD tends to always stand in my way and give me a mistake that I make. And I have literally no backup, because our manager is actually coming to download to enter site for the first time, because she's never actually been to download apart from the 30 seconds at the gate that where the guest car park is. So this is going to be quite a hell of an experience for her actually being able to get past the security this time, which is going to be nice.
Yeah. So,
yes,
top 5 acts that we should be seeing.
I mean, you're expecting me to remember 5 acts from Download, because I do a thing to make sure that I don't sort of sit in the press area pining for people outside. I often don't pay attention to the lineup until we're there with the press list that we have, so I know what I can actually go out and see.
Okay.
I mean, Green Day and Sleep Token and Korn are actually 3 of my must-sees anyway.
Okay.
For the reasons that we said at the start of the podcast. I love Green Day. They were my first festival experience alongside Darkness and White Stripes. And we, as a team, have watched Darkness headline a different festival together, which was cool.
We have.
Here for, like we were with Bring Me the Horizon, is we feel part of the industry and the scene that has created the hype around Sleep Token. Like everybody that listens to them, everybody that buys a ticket, all of the journalists that promote them as well. This is another win for the alternative music culture of the UK. Is we made a band so popular, and they made themselves popular as well, that they can headlines as very early in their career.
I saw a quote the other day that said it took Bring Me the Horizon 10 years to sell out arenas and just be an arena and stadium headline act. It's taken Sleep Token 5. I
mean, if you remember the early days as we do of Bring Me the Horizon, you can remember that they weren't without controversy though. Because they were a bunch of lads living. I mean, this was back when Asking also had the same reputation, and a few others. And understandable why, because there wasn't the place in main culture for alternative music that there is now. So they used to get a lot of hassle from both metal fans and non-metal fans because they were dirty deathcore.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never seen quite the 180 that Bring Me the Horizon have done, from being one of the most unpopular and loved to hate bands to one of the most popular, relevant and inclusive bands as well, because they make a lot of efforts to make sure that everybody does feel included.
So you can't think of anyone else to add to your Bullet,
Bullet. No, if I had this, the actual poster in front of me, then I would do the Dayseeker. If I get a chance to see them, then I want to see Dayseeker as well.
Okay.
How about you? Top 5?
Korn. So that's 1 to 4. No, Poppy.
Nice.
I think Cradle of Filth, because they're on their new album cycle and they're headlining that stage.
Nice.
Which would be quite cool. John Mahon, but I don't think I'll be up that late because he's on at 1:30 after Hang the DJs and the Venga Boys on Thursday.
But if you are looking for a party, get to John Mahone's DJ set. You've never seen anything like it.
And that's basically just going for a bimble and discovering someone. Like when it's early doors and those first sort of 3 or 4 hours, you just wander around site and just go, oh yeah, I'm going to sit. This band takes a little bit
almost
of
just hearing something in the background.
Yeah, there's a riff or a hook or something or a vocal melody, and go I'm just going to pop in this tent or stand in front of this stage for 3 songs, and then next thing you know, you've got a new favourite band. So that's what I'd advise doing.
Fair play. We're going to have to switch to the other one, because I don't want people to have to be bogged down with watching a 45-minute hype show, because we're all getting ready for Download.
Oh, yeah.
But we do have to talk about Money in the Bank.
It was rather spectacular there.
It really was. And the podcast, as a unit, called What Was Going to Happen.
Yeah, we got 2 right, didn't we, on our last show?
Well, we got the Money in the Bank's called, because you were right about the males with Seth Rollins.
Seth freaking Rollins.
And it was well earned, because the match was very, very entertaining. There was lots of hilarious spots.
Yes.
I love his stable at the moment. I don't know if they've got any designs on a name or if they're just going around as a group, but
it's Paul Heyman and crew.
Yeah, I mean, it just Big Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker just look so good as louty security.
Yeah, they're like bouncers.
Yeah.
Well, we should preface this by saying that we are recording this before Monday Night Raw, so before anyone gets at us after they've liked, subscribed, hit the notification bell, leave the comment.
But we have
nice comments only.
Raw hasn't actually been on air yet, so we don't know the result of Jay versus Gunther or anything like that. Obviously, on the Money in the Bank thing as well, I called Naomi.
You did.
Shout out Jack again for that one, because we not only called Naomi, but we got a little bit of a reshare comment from her as well.
We did get some internet love from her before the event,
which was amazing. And then to see how strong she was when she was winning it, like, it was so well booked that it made sense. And I can't wait to see what they do with her running around with a briefcase, because there's a good couple of people that she could really face off against, depending on, if Bianca's hand gets better in time, that she can take a title and then Naomi goes after her. Or if Jade takes the title off of Tiffy and could go after her, or she'd just straight go after Tiffy as well and take it off the person that won it via briefcase before.
Plus, you've got all this new NXT lot that are starting to come through and getting contracts and stuff.
And I think that's one of the reasons why the Women's Money in the Bank was so strong, is because you had some very, very hungry performers there. Exactly. And not the same with the men's, because it was full of a few older ones, but absolutely brilliant performances from, Solo was so funny in the men's one, where he starts pretending to do everybody's thing. So he tried to do LA's, then he tried to do Pentas, and I love the fact he's not trying to be a tribal chief anymore, because he is genuinely one of the funniest Usos out of all of them. Not that any of the rest are bad, but he has that weird sort of almost clown-like comedy timing, which I knew about because we would watch footage from house shows and stuff like that, and he's always been hilarious when he wasn't the tribal chief. Now he has less pressure and he can be a bit funnier again, even better, and I cannot wait for the feud between him and Jacob Fatu to start developing, because we have been waiting, and they've teased it so many times that they're going to fall out properly. But to actually stop him winning and then flip the thing that he used to say, which is, I love you, Solo. So I hate you.
Pulls down the ladder and I hate you.
So good. So that's gonna create so much fun stuff. And shout out to Large Coffee, El Grande Americano's ribs. Because I'm sure they're in many pieces after that epic spear off of Bron Breakker at 30 miles an hour or whatever he does it. And I love, it's obviously Chad Gable, call me out if you think I'm wrong, but I love the fact that he can sell things so well that it did look like Bron straight up murdered him.
Thing is though, he was in the
Worlds Collide.
Well, that's the one. The Worlds Collide a few hours beforehand.
Again, it just shows what a menace that man is, because he's in great shape, but he's also got the stamina to be able to do two pretty big matches at two PLEs in one day.
Well, and at Worlds Collide, Dirty Dom turned up. And then they had a secret set wrestle in the main event.
This is what I love about the current direction of WWE is Worlds Collide is a beautiful blend of WWE NXT, AAA and TNA, as well as we've got Battleground for some of the crossovers as well. And I love the fact that they're legitimizing Worlds Collide and Battleground by letting those storylines play into the main roster PLEs as well. That just, it shows that they're not doing it just for 5 minutes and making, we're just doing this as a virtue signal. They're actually trying to raise up all of these brands. However, Mega Champion, you need to have a better belt. Your belt looks like one of the kid ones that our manager owns with her kid. It needs some weight to it. It needs to hang over the shoulder properly. So WWE, invest in replacing the AAA belts and give them belts like the WWE, because that thing is a menace. That's so heavy that you have to, be careful when you pick it up. But I think that's partly why, is they can put budget into these other companies with these events.
Oh, they've got Netflix money now.
They've got Netflix money indeed. Also, don't believe the next Netflix numbers. It's something that's been bugging me, this was the worst watched one. Of course, within 24 hours, it's going to be worse numbers than it was before. But that's because, when do you watch Monday Night Raw?
Well, this week it's going to be different because we'll be travelling to download. But normally on a Thursday, because I get Thursday off and I get to do all my
media catch up and
media chores and clearing inboxes and all that kind of stuff whilst it's on. So I'm guessing I'll be watching it tomorrow.
Something like that. Me and the manager, we tend to watch it Wednesday evenings. So that's, and the guy that I do occasional events with as well, he doesn't watch it within 24 hours.
And we're in the UK, so we can't watch it live.
There's that as well. Same with, they have to take very specific photos to try and say that the event isn't attended properly, because they take it within the first 5 minutes of the event starting.
Yeah, when everyone's still getting in.
Yeah, it's not very well attended. It's like, no, that's
It's like going to an arena show and the doors open at 6:30, the first band's on at 6:45, and there's 4,000 people outside and 800 people inside watching.
Yeah, so don't believe the
It's just spin.
Well, it's people looking for a reaction by being negative. And I'm going to call out all the Facebook pages I see complaining about things. And guys, just get positive. There's far more fun in talking about what good is happening at the moment. Because I remember, and I'm a perfect example, I stopped watching the WWE underneath Vince McMahon's regime because it was boring, it made no sense, and I started watching every week, both the weeklies, when it was better written underneath TKO and Triple H. Which leads me on to obviously the tag match, because we had Cody and Jay versus John and Logan.
That flip Logan did off the top straight into the announcer's desk.
I mean,
have you seen Logan's Instagram?
No, has he shown his injury?
No. He's done a split, so it's just him in his gym at home, crawling up the curtain, putting his hands on, and then going to flip over into the ring, but instead he goes up and then cuts it, and he just flips back into from the actual main arena, and then it's just like his team are on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's always fun watching with the guy I watch this stuff with, because he will show off his reaction whether or not something's impressive. And I won't repeat what he says because I don't want to get censored by YouTube, but there's a certain,
asterisk.
Go forth and multiply that happens every time that he gets seriously impressed. And when he realised what Logan was actually doing, and then the fact that he got the airtime and distance, oh my God.
That was good.
And then I was wrong. I thought that Logan was going to eat the pin so that nobody else had to. But the thing that everybody's talking about, and we need to talk about just a little bit, is Ron Killings, Mr. R-Truth.
To be fair,
coming back.
I thought for a moment that Vessel would ditched off being in Sleep Token and ran on stage because it's all like mysterious and cloaked over and hood up, and it's like, no, it was R-Truth's new. Well, he got sacked, didn't he? Well, he lost his contract before.
His contract finished. He got released, so it's not being fired for being bad.
Yeah, we covered this, didn't we?
Yeah. And this is the thing that the internet is currently really divided over. I'm going to be very opinionated. It doesn't matter whether it was planned or not. It doesn't matter if they had it planned for a month or whether the WWE responded to the online response. We got what we wanted, and that is R-Truth not being treated like his online character, which is a bit of a funny chump-like character.
Yeah.
The actual person, Ron Killings, by the end of that PLE, had the full respect of the WWE universe and the company, and that is what is important.
Well, and he's completely a new character now.
Well, they are, his merch at least is Ron Killings merch rather than R-Truth merch, which, I mean, when your name is Ron Killings, that is quite a good name to be going out on a heel run, maybe? Are we looking at, he's so disillusioned because Cena let him down that we actually see R-Truth become a heel?
And I bet you by the time this airs, it would have all happened in Raw. But we wanted to get this recorded now because we've got download in a couple of days, and that takes some preparation.
As you can tell with this idiot in charge of packing himself, I need a couple of days to make sure I actually have packed my power cable. Sorry, I just made the manager laugh. We're pretty much at the point of make sure you stay tuned for on all of our social media.
Didn't mention Becky Lynch.
Oh yeah, she took the IC title, didn't she?
Yeah.
I did think that was going to happen.
I had a feeling it might, but I think it'll get reversed quite quickly. I can't see her having a full campaign and keeping
No, she doesn't need it because she's Becky Lynch.
Yeah, I think it'll probably it'll be challenged very quickly. If not Raw later, then...
Well, they do have the immediate rematch stipulation to a title match. If you lose, you can have an immediate rematch. Or they're going to keep the IC title moving and put it on somebody else deserving, with Becky being the transition title holder.
Yeah, because it's a new belt, isn't it?
It's only been held by Lyra and Becky Lynch now. So, Lyra and Lynch.
I reckon if it's not challenged straight away at Raw, because we're recording before Raw, then SummerSlam.
Very likely.
There'll be a contender for it.
But I'm happy with the way things are going. I love the fact that we've got an exciting R-Truth back because he might have more storyline. I like the fact that there's so many places that they can take that tag match, because John and Logan could have a falling out now. They either work well together or they could have a little feud that would kill some time. Cody's looking strong as anything, as he should, coming back, and he
well rested.
Didn't lose his first match, which was important as well.
Yep.
We don't know if Jay's going to hold on to his title. Kind of hope he does, because I don't want him... This is my personal opinion, not anything else, but I would rather him not lose it back to Gunther. I would rather him lose it to somebody else to keep that title moving. Because Gunther,
Gunther.
Shout out Ollie, I'm trying to pronounce it correctly. Gunther doesn't need a title currently because he's brilliant on the mic, he's really funny, and I kind of see for somebody that is that much of a ring general, that he could possibly be in the line for getting the Undisputed title. So switch brands to SmackDown and start trying to get after the IC title. the Undisputed title.
Because he is, by all accounts, out of contract.
He could be. You never know. It could be funny. They could pull off something that happened in the Monday Night War in the 90s and early 2000s. Is he could always win the heavyweight title and then take it to AEW. And then put it in a bin, which I believe is something that happened in the WCW days.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, very old throwback there. But there's so many documentaries.
Gotta love the nostalgia.
I was going to say, if you want to learn about that period of time, there are so many documentaries about the Monday Night War between WWE and WCW. And Eric Bischoff even named his podcast after the amount of time that he had higher ratings than the WWE. Not that, that defined his entire life or his career, but, here we are. Cool, so make sure that you pay attention to all social media, because we're going to have backstage stuff going up on like our Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. Don't bother with X at the moment, because we have a unused account on there. But there's going to be plenty of shorts going up on YouTube. We have the main channel, but we also have our +1 channel that's going to be picking up the full interviews or download like we've done with Slam Dunk as well. And it's always below in the description as well. If you need a little bit of music to, sort of do a couple hours of packing to and more weirdness from the two of us, we've been a radio show for 18 years plus. And we're very proud of being traditional radio show presenters and having like a proper old school show. So the link to that is down below. Make sure that you do come across, and it's a way that we show all bands that we get sent some love, because every week it's a new non-algorithm based new music show. So that's why we've been working together for so long, is we actually really enjoy the radio stuff, and we want to make sure that you guys don't forget that radio has a purpose.
It's perfect for driving to a festival too.
It is very good for driving for a festival too, or packing to, depending on what you're doing. So like I say, links are below.
Check out our Spotify, because there's playlists there, and the That Should Cover It playlist is
brilliant.
It's phenomenal. It's about 5 hours long at the moment.
I actually jumped on it and played from the beginning for my drive home, because the one that we did on this week's show was Poppy covering Tattooed.
Yes.
All the things she said. And I got to admit, it's not often that a cover makes me happier than the original, but that one definitely does. So Poppy, you can do no wrong, just keep being you, because it's so working for you right now.
What a perfect way to end the podcast.
I think we should say we'll see you at Download.
Download!
Thank you for watching our Download Hype podcast and our little cheeky review of Money in the Bank. Look, we are so interested in who you guys are going to be watching at Download, and if you watch this after you've already been to Download, tell us who you watched. Tell us who we should have gone to see, and if you get us before Download, also let us know who you want us to interview. We can always give it a try and see if that's the case. Unfortunately, it probably won't be Green Day, Sleep Token or Korn, at least not at Download. We're not quite, the big guns that get the headliners at Download. Also, me particularly, I am here for any wrestling theories that you have. Any theories about the WWE, where storylines are going to go. Tell me why I should watch AEW as well, because there's some mixed opinions online about AEW, and I'm still trying to make up my mind as to whether or not I want to put my time to it. Same with NXT. Give me reasons to watch anything that isn't what I already watch on the WWE network, because that is the thing I'm most sort of attached to. But give me a good reason in the comments and I might change my mind. Anyways, we've got a blog coming out next week for Download itself, which is going to be a lot of fun because this is the first time ever that we're taking our manager to Download to help film and do everything else. So we are really looking forward to what we can actually do this year. So tune in next week.